The 1987 film, The Monster Squad, this has so many memorable moments throughout. Even though it's not perfect, it still is entertaining even nearly 40 years later. I actually had saw this for the first time a year ago, and coming back to watch it for this review, it was a nice refresher because I largely forgotten about the story and the characters, though I will say that this is highly entertaining, even if it does have a few issues peppered throughout the runtime. So basically, the plot is about a group of outcast middle school kids come together to try to stop Count Dracula and his fellow monsters from controlling the world. Yeah, I was kind of surprised I never heard about this film when I was a lot younger, but then again, no one really ever recommended this to me, so it kind of made sense why I never knew it existed in the first place. Though I will say that this has a certain charm that makes it a delight to watch, and sure, while it's cheesy by today's standards, I think it is a cult classic that many people are still talking about to this day. Now, I do wish that this film was a lot better because it doesn't have great character development for several of its characters like Count Dracula. Seriously, his origins is completely skipped over, and because of that, I really didn't understand why he wanted to control the world. Where was his motivation? Why didn't he have a monologue? It felt like the villains of this film really suffered because of it. Don't get me wrong, I still like this for what it is, but it really should have been something special, to say the least. What really makes this film enjoyable though are the characters. Now, Sean Crenshaw, he is an interesting leader of the Monster Squad. He knows that dangerous forces is going on, so he gets together his friends and they are on the job. Now, his best friend Patrick, I did like that character. He did such a good job with what he was tasked with. He's more like the brains of the operation as well. And then there is Horace, played by the late Brent Chalum. He did such a great job in this role. At first, he's clumsy and he gets picked on, but he does become a badass near the end, killing the Gillman. I thought that was cool. But one of my favorite characters in this film is Rudy. This guy, he is the true badass, the true MVP of the squad. He has 5 monster kills. I think that's pretty impressive. He ends up killing the mummy, 3 vampires, and of course the Wolfman. And you know, I didn't expect that when I had first watched this film, but that's how cool this character really is. And then there is, of course, Phoebe, the sister of Sean. I was asking myself, why is this little girl hanging out with these older kids? Where is her friends at? But she does have an important part to play, saying the chant at the end in order to get rid of the Universal monsters. Speaking of which, I thought that Duncan Rick Gere did such a great job playing Count Dracula. Unfortunately, he only is in the film for 10 minutes. But to be honest, the other monsters, they're not in the film all that much either, which I guess kind of makes sense considering this film really looks at the human characters more. But I would have liked if Dracula was in the film more often, but it is what it is. But an important character here is Frankenstein's monster. He had such a huge role to play in this movie, befriending the children. And of course, saving Phoebe at the end. I thought that was cool. But overall, I think this film, it gets the job done. And despite it having some flaws here and there, I think for a late 1980s horror comedy, it definitely still is worth watching, even all of these years later. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. Yeah, interesting characters, some good music, a well thought out story. This is one of those movies that despite it not being one of the best of that decade, there certainly is more positives than there are negatives. I did like the interactions between Sean and his friends, and when a story does that, where it makes me care for the characters, I really do appreciate it. An intriguing detail that I found out about this is that originally there was going to be a remake, but it didn't happen. I'm actually glad because it most likely would have ended up being awful. Nonetheless, this is such a noteworthy piece of cinema that is not only funny, but many people can sit down and just have a great time watching it. And that is my review of The Monster Squad. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.